So foaming in my general direction.
Hello everyone and welcome to the WhatCulture Gaming News. We are definitely using that as the intro. My name is Jules Gill and this is, as ever, the one, the only Scott Tailford. Brand new and improved and all buffed up for 2020. That's right, we're back. And this can mean only one thing. Yes, it is time to hit that brand new year jingle.
It's the same one.
All right, don't ruin it for him.
Hot dang, this news, give it all you got. I guess it's time for Jules and Scott.
Oh, see how new it was?
That was refreshing, apparently.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think it's the same thing.
Just moving on.
2020.
Right. Okay, so we have some breaking news for you guys, and it is, drum roll please, that Ubisoft have apparently got more leaks coming out again because more information about the new Assassin's Creed game has leaked, and we are going to detail this for you lovely people right now.
Yes, so it turns out it is real. The thing that we sort of knew for a long time originally was codenamed Assassin's Creed Kingdom. Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is the new name. It leaked on GameStop's website and Amazon.
It all began, didn't it, with the Apple of Eden being found as an Easter egg in The Division 2,
yes.
Correct?
So there was a big poster for Valhalla, and it showed this guy, this Viking knight type dude, standing with a big spear and the piece, the Apple of Eden type thing, which got a lot of fans talking as to the next potential setting. But yeah, the latest leak points to two versions that will be available, Valhalla and Mjolnir. I'm gonna get Mjolnir.
Wait,
probably.
Yeah. No, wait, what? So there's two versions of one game?
Yeah,
so
it's Ubisoft.
Wait, no, wait, what? So wait, are you saying it's just editions, not two separate games, right?
No, I assume it'll be one game.
Oh, I was having a bit of a heart attack then. I was like, no, Ubisoft, baby, you cannot be going around splitting up your games.
I mean, they probably will eventually.
Well, they tried that with Rogue and
yes.
was it Unity? Rogue and Unity at the
Black
same
Flag.
Black Flag.
Oh no, I know what you mean.
So they basically had characters from one story actually like bleeding over into the other, and it was like a kind of prequel to the other game.
Yeah, Rogue was either way, that was 1 year when they tried to do two games in 1 year.
That was a really weird move because they put it on the previous generation's console and no one bought it, and it's really annoying because it was actually a really decent
Rogue's
game.
Pretty solid. No, there's two editions, I should have said.
There we go.
Two editions. It's not Pokemon. There's two editions.
I was about to say I don't want to be like trading in longboats to you. I'll just be like, oh, I'm going to send a shipment of wool to you. Like,
I'll trade you a longbow for an axe of some sort. But yeah, there's two editions for Assassin's Creed Ragnarok: the Valhalla edition and the Mjolnir edition. Mjolnir just sounds cooler, but that's all there is in regards to the listing. But at least we know that this year's Assassin's Creed is going to be called that.
Yeah.
So I went a little bit deeper, and if you go to Kotaku's report from last year, because Kotaku initially confirmed that this was real. After the Easter egg that Jules mentioned in The Division 2, they then did a report saying like, well, we've talked to independent sources, and this is the next Assassin's Creed. And then they sort of linked to a website called the Codex, saying that if you want to follow some leaks and rumors, the Codex are the ones that have the breakdown as to what the game is.
Interesting.
So going off the leaks and rumors, pinch of salt type stuff, there is a handful of additional details as to what assumedly will be in the game.
Cool.
One thing is the new characters. Now we had two characters in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Cassandra and Alexios. They're going to carry that forward. There's going to be two more characters in the new one that are apparently descended from those two, called Cassius or Lucia. So either.
Well, that's good as well because a lot of people were actually speculating whether or not this was going to lean heavily into the mythology, and we all kind of knew that it was going to touch on it because I mean, why would you turn down having mythical beasts and stuff like that? But having descendants directly from a air quote like mythical people, then it's definitely going to be leaning heavily into that.
So speaking of that, according to this stuff, apparently the new one's going to be the most First Civilization heavy game so far. Which the First Civilization is the name for the ones that came before, the gods, the Minerva from Assassin's Creed 2, and all that type of stuff. If you follow your Assassin's Creed lore, the story goes that like eons ago there were all these weird gods. I can't remember what they're called, like the Uso, I think. They came down to Earth and they sort of enslaved humanity. I probably get this wrong. Enslaved humanity, and then over time humanity decided that we're not going to have any of that, and then they formed the Assassins, who rebelled against them, and that's where the two factions come from, the Templars and the Assassins.
I did not know any of this.
Yeah.
Like, wait. The last thing that I remember was old Desmond just sitting in a tub for a bit trying to do some Inception.
That was 10 years ago, Jules.
Yeah, I know it was 10 years ago. I'm a fan of the thing, but I'm a very casual fan.
Well, so
I'm sorry, that seems needlessly complicated. No. Why couldn't it just be a story about a man who just goes plugging into the Matrix and going reliving his past life?
Well, it is that, but then he finds out about all the gods.
But now he's got gods involved.
There's gods. There's a meteor coming to destroy the Earth unless you press all the pedestals around the world to stop it, which is what they did in Assassin's Creed 3, but then Desmond had to die. to, you know,
Yeah, I remember
facilitate
that bit, actually.
Remember that stuff?
Yeah.
But either way, all those old gods type people are called the First Civilization.
Fair enough.
And that seems to be one of the only sort of carried over plot threads that tie all the games together, at least quote unquote. And they're apparently going to delve back into that stuff because there's certain pockets of the fandom, kind of like me, who like all that overblown, old school Metal Gear type business. So there's some more of that. And also they said, in again, part of the Codex leaks, that this will be the final part in the Ancient Trilogy, which I guess would be Origins, Odyssey, and then now Ragnarok.
That's interesting because they have chosen 3 very, very expansive games to pick from. Because I mean, like, they've got tons and tons of mythology and lore that they can draw from all of these ancient civilizations. But putting a cap on it is actually quite strange because there are still a lot of people out there that really, really want them to push for a Japanese mythology one.
Yes.
And so them saying, oh, we're going to cap off this sort of ancient thing means that we're probably going to be moving into a different thing.
I hope so.
Can you imagine Assassin's Creed of the future, 2099?
I'd probably take that.
I mean, I would like it, but it would be very strange
Like a Cyberblade?
To jump from that to this would be
the thing that's weird with like I said, like the ancient games, like starting with Origins and Odyssey, is that like they went full on into like melee systems and over the top boss battles, and like, I mean, you were down in Atlantis in the DLC for Odyssey, and you had like time traveling. You had this like staff that prevented a character from aging, so they could exist for thousands of years and stuff like that. I think that for the most part, like the audience is on board. I think that like they've just gone full bore into how ridiculous as possible. So I'm curious with this how much they'll try and ape God of War, because a lot of the design of Assassin's Creed Origins, having spoke to someone who works at Ubisoft, the design tenet behind why they wanted an opening area and then the wider world after that was very much inspired by Breath of the Wild.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I think in this regard, obviously they would have known what God of War is going to be and how big that's going to be, so why not do a Norse mythology focused Assassin's Creed?
And also when you
with
look
boss battles.
When you look at the sort of reception that God of War had as well, like it scooped up so many awards, the public absolutely ate it up. Why would you not want to sort of try and emulate that? Because the weird thing is that after God of War has come out, not many people decided to step in the same arena as it. And understandably why, because it was an absolute giant, people would just compare it to it. But enough time now has been between that game where now hopefully this can come in and capture the interest again.
Plus, like Ubisoft in a unique position, well, not necessarily a unique position, but they can just cash in on that goodwill. I mean, a lot of people obviously like the over-the-top boss battles and stuff that God of War was known for. Obviously, the new game tells a more introspective tale, a more nuanced thing about Kratos. So this can kind of just swoop in and be like, we're just going to do big boss battles and over-the-top stuff, and here's some gods, by the way, and whatever. And they can sort of tie into, because it says in the leaks that they want to try and get a balance between what original Assassin's Creed fans want, which was the story-focused stuff from the original trilogy and the Ezio stuff, and the overblown stuff from the Ancient Trilogy, which is you fighting Anubis in AC Origins and things like that.
It's strange because, like, tonally, this series has
all over the place.
It's definitely shifted. Like, you've gone from being able to like sneak up on people and have like one-on-one encounters where you're like plotting your moves and everything like that, and now you've got, like, in the latest one in Odyssey, you had like battles, like proper like battles on the beaches and stuff like that, and it was quite strange to see how far it's come from that. I am very interested. This is probably the one Assassin's Creed that's got my interest more than anything else, because I love Norse mythology. I love that sort of like the concept of steering through thick fog in a longboat and maybe launching a little like surprise attack.
With a severed head on your back.
Like to be that's actually pretty cool. I mean, I collect space wolves in Warhammer. They're pretty much like
do I give
space Vikings.
Space wolves?
They're space Vikings effectively. I love them. They're great.
I would take them. One of the last things from the leak is that apparently, like, to facilitate like both sides of this coin, where they want to have the sort of overblown stuff in the moment, but also delve back into the First Civilization stuff, is apparently they're tying. A lot of the game will be about flashbacks and memories, and they're going to make it so that if you played Odyssey, I think these guys were in Origins too. There were some specific like cultists that you could. It was like Dark Souls. You could find out sort of specific side bosses, like mini bosses to defeat. In the new one, they'll tie them to the memories to the story. So, which kind of gives me like a prototype vibe, where you're sort of, you can deviate away from the main story and take out some specific individuals that then flesh out the lore of the world itself.
That's actually quite clever.
So I think I like that as a way to sort of split the difference. If you just want your mainline action game, I mean, Ubisoft just make, every video game the game at this point. So you might as well have your big sort of like mainline action game. But if you're an old school AC fan and you want some First Civilization stuff,
can go off the
go hunt the cultists and find that stuff out. So I like that. Hopefully all that stuff's true. But in regards to the way that they seem to be setting it out, I think they can please both sides of the fandom.
Oh yeah, definitely. definitely. I mean, this has got the most promise that it's had in a couple of years.
And a lot of premise.
And a lot of premise as well. And I'm excited to see what the different versions are going to include. Do we have any, I mean, like Mjolnir, if you're going to use something like that, then that implies then that you're going to have like Thor.
You're probably going to unlock a hammer.
You're going to have a hammer. Or maybe even the case will come with like a sort of hammer statue style
Possibly.
thing.
One of the things that was that stood out for me in Odyssey was that they ditched the hidden blade and they gave you like the King Leonidas spear instead.
Yeah.
Which like was initially sort of quite divisive, but I think people got on board with it. I want the blade to return, or at least I know they did the DLC for it, but I want the I want them to have like some sort of stealthy based weapon. I don't want to be running around full on action style.
Yes,
24/7.
Because I can't think of anything that less describes a stealth game than a giant hammer that summons thunder and lightning. It's not exactly the most stealthiest thing in the world.
Although actually I probably would take a hammer based stealth animation.
I tell you
just
what,
whacking a guy in the face.
If they were clever about this, they should actually start moving more into using weather and environments to your advantage.
Okay.
It's one of the things that Assassin's Creed has never really sort of explored, because they've always focused on the character, they focused on empowering you as an assassin. But I always think, like, what if you had some sort of device that, Mjolnir is a perfect example.
Yes.
If it can summon thunder and lightning, it could be used as a distraction or to mask sounds. So you do like cannon fire, but you're masking it with the sound of thunder.
That'd be cool. I mean, if they're cribbing stuff from established games, in Breath of the Wild, any metal items that you have in a lightning storm, in a thunderstorm, will start to flash because they're about to be struck.
Oh yeah, like
so you can just put a sword down, and run away, and the bolt will hit someone else instead.
See, that would actually be really cool.
It makes sense to bring that stuff across. I mean, that's pure speculation.
I know, yeah, they probably won't.
Territory. Yeah. But you never know. Ubisoft are very much a reactive studio. Like,
yes.
for as much as they pioneer certain IPs, they do tend to take mechanics from elsewhere. So there's a chance. I'm just saying. It's called Mjolnir. You never know.
I am really excited about this one. Probably more so than any other Assassin's Creed game in the last maybe 5 to 10 years.
I'm more curious for where they go after this. If they're making a point of saying that the ancient trilogy is capping with this one. I do want the Japanese one. I do want them to do something fresh. I do want stealth to make a comeback overall. Yes. So I'm kind of curious about the future of it. But at the same time, this might as well go out with a bang.
I do. The Japanese one is probably the most requested one that in
That's
the
why they won't do it though. They've said it's too easy. Which makes no sense.
But it's not though, because the thing is that like if you look back at sort of the older stealth games like Tenchu, is a great example of that. That was amazing. Well, Sekiro was somewhat stealthy, but it was more action focused. If they were to go back to their roots and do a stealth, they've got the lore there, they've got the premise, they've even got like all of the weaponry and stylings that were basically designed to be the stealthiest combat units around. Yeah. Like, I don't understand. It's too easy in the fact that, yes, a lot of people expect it, but wouldn't you just make a buttload of cash by doing it? I mean, that's all they care about.
Yeah, see also Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Turns out giving people what they want is quite profitable, assumedly, and people talk about it.
I never understand video game developers that are just kind of like, oh, so you want this, do you? Nah.
Not for you, we'll do...
You don't actually
Vikings? Yeah, we'll do something completely different.
It'd be like Assassin's Creed kart racer before we get the
Again, I'd probably take that. You'd probably use the spear, hidden blade, someone to decide.
Well, there we go.
You'd probably beat me at that as well.
As per you. If you don't know, he's a big fan.
There's a stream somewhere, probably online.
No, it's been deleted.
Oh, good, it's been deleted. Okay, that never happened then. No, doesn't matter.
A Crash Team Racing champion, Scott Telford. That's what the record
That's what the record now says.
But that has been all of the information that we've got for you lovely people today on Assassin's Creed and the 2 editions that are coming out for the Ragnarok and the
Valhalla.
Oh, Valhalla and...
Oh, no. Valhalla and Mjolnir.
Valhalla and Mjolnir. Let us know if you think can you guess what's going to be in each one? If you can, then tell us which one you think about picking up. Or are you completely done with this franchise now that you know that potentially you're not going to be getting the Japanese edition? Who knows? But let us know down below what you think. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Remember, you can go follow us at RetroJ0 for myself and...
@/LP89.
Damn right you can.
Good.
Hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you're getting up to, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.